Now let me talk about some of the services that are most important to residents of Santa Monica. Let's start with public safety and police. Many people know that we have a new police chief. She's well known in the community because she started her career with Santa Monica as an officer and rose to the level of captain. Chief Jackie Seabrooks took the reins in May and has been doing great things in our department since. This is an important time for her to come to the leadership position because we've seen a rise in crime in Santa Monica, both violent and property crimes in the last year. About 2.5% for crimes against persons and 15% for property-related crimes. Now this is serious to us, but let me put it in some context. For the last 5 years, we've averaged about a little less than 4,000 crimes against persons or property in Santa Monica per year. Contrast that with between 1980 and 1995 when we had over 10,000. In fact, you'd have to go back to 1957 to find levels of crime similar to what we're experiencing today. Nonetheless, this uptick in crime in Santa Monica has us concerned. And one of the reasons that we're seeing it has to do with a statewide policy called Public Safety Realignment, which went into effect earlier this year. And in essence, it's dealing with the overcrowding in state prisons by forcing the release of some of the so-called non-violent felons to local jails, which are also crowded, which then forces the early release of these career criminals into communities. 15,000 so-called recidivist criminals were released into California since January of this year. 5,000 of them were released into Los Angeles County. We have our share in Santa Monica, and they are responsible for some of the increase in crime that we're seeing. In fact, one fellow that we arrested outside of the city some weeks ago admitted to committing over 100 property crimes in Santa Monica before being arrested. So this is of great concern to us. We are responding in several ways. First of all, the chief has put together a crime impact team that increases the number of patrol officers that are in the downtown and certain areas in the neighborhoods where we have the greatest propensity for crime. And their job is to suppress crime and respond as quickly as possible and provide a very active presence, and they are doing that. We also have a crime reduction team which is focusing more on crime prevention, particularly property-related crimes. And they're focusing in the areas where we have too many cars that are broken into, too many bikes that are stolen and the like. And they're helping to educate people and businesses on how they can better protect their property. Between these two additional efforts, we've seen an increase of 6% in arrests in this past year and a 30% increase in citations. And so this is one of the primary ways that we're going to stay on top of this slight increase in crime in Santa Monica. The chief is also committed to changing our beat structure, changing the work schedule of our officers, which will in essence put more officers on the beats, and changing our strategies in the coming year. So I think we will be well positioned for the future.